politics. 2021 saw the inauguration of the nation's 46th president, and President Biden has been facing many challenges, including coronavirus, immigration, and a troop pullout from Afghanistan. Our White House correspondent Allison Harris takes a look back at the most notable moments of President Biden's first year in office.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
President Biden swearing in, providing a moment of celebration before the president, who campaigned on unity, was forced to face the fallout of January 6th, where just 2 weeks before, on the very steps where he took the oath, an attack unlike any other in American history, an insurrection at the Capitol, casting an ominous shadow at the outset of his presidency. On day one in office, President Biden undid Trump-era policies like halting construction of the border wall and rejoining the Paris Climate Accords. But the first priority, getting COVID under control. Congress passing the president's nearly $2 trillion COVID rescue plan along party lines in March.
By July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue.
The Biden administration initially reaching milestone after milestone in the vaccination effort, hitting his goal of 200 million shots in arms in his first 100 days, celebrated at his address to a joint session of Congress.
America's rising anew, choosing hope over fear, truth over lies, and light over darkness.
But Congress failed to act on the president's other priorities, like passing gun reform legislation, as mass shootings devastated Atlanta, Boulder, and Indianapolis. Instead, the president signing executive orders.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment.
Abroad, the president met face-to-face with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, at a June summit in Geneva, where he confronted Putin over cyber attacks on American targets.
This did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated.
But his drive to bring America's longest war to an end was marred by missteps.
Just one more year of fighting Afghanistan is not a solution, but a recipe for being there indefinitely.
The Taliban sweeping into Kabul, meeting little resistance from U.S.-trained Afghan forces. Desperate Afghans plunging to their death after clinging to departing planes. A handful of Americans, along with interpreters who for years helped the U.S., left behind. And most tragically, 13 U.S. troops killed in ISIS attacks at the Kabul airport amid the chaos. And migrants streamed to the border in Mexico. The president tapped VP Kamala Harris to manage the record-breaking influx, which reached a fever pitch in September when Border Patrol agents used horses to round up Haitian migrants.
America is coming back together.
Back home on the COVID front, the president had declared a summer of freedom on July 4th as the country neared a 70% vaccination rate for adults.
Thanks to our heroic vaccine effort, we've gained the upper hand against this virus.
But that season was short-lived thanks to the Delta variant, which quickly proved more transmissible and more dangerous.
You don't have to die.
On the economy, a mixed bag. The economy grew while unemployment shrank at the fastest rate in the country's history. But inflation soared to its highest level in more than 40 years. Supply chain bottlenecks persisted. And on infrastructure, the rarest of feats.
Okay, here we go.
19 Senate Republicans supporting his $1 trillion infrastructure plan to rebuild the nation's roads and bridges.
We make these investments, there will be no stopping the American people or America.
But in the face of unanimous Republican opposition, it is a Democrat, West Virginia's Joe Manchin.
I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there.
Who stands in the way of Biden's biggest goal.
The Build Back Better bill is passed.
The $2 trillion plan beloved by progressives to combat climate change and help families with child care and paid leave.
Senator Manchin and I are going to get something done.
Setting up what's sure to be a tense start to 2022.
2, 1, Merry Christmas!
For Democrats on Capitol Hill and President Biden. Allison Harris, NewsNation.
Well, still ahead, we're taking a look back at the...
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.